Hey everybody, welcome to another video, and today I'm doing a lawnmower review. Yes indeed, another one. It's been a while, maybe about 10 years ago I did a lawnmower video comparing the John Deere to a Husqvarna riding mower, and that video got tons of views, so I thought maybe I'd do another one. I got a brand new John Deere riding mower today, delivered from Home Depot. It's the S100 model, and it is the least expensive model John Deere makes. Okay, this was $2,399, basically $2,400. Okay, it has a 42-inch deck. It has parking brakes right here, throttle control. You have to press this button to go in reverse. But in order to go in reverse, it's got a separate reverse paddle right there. You press that outer button to go reverse and push that button over there to go reverse. And it does cut going reverse. And then you have the gas pedal, the throttle, the accelerator pedal right there, okay? And in this model, the seat moves up to reveal the gas tank. And in this model, you have to lift the hood to access the battery over there. And it is a 17.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. It's got a little Briggs & Stratton logo right there. It is the smallest, I believe, the smallest motor or engine Briggs & Stratton makes for the riding mowers. So that's basically it right there in a nutshell. Here is the control for the deck to put it in cutting mode and take it out of the cutting mode. Here is the ignition. Here's the odometer right there. It's got a cup holder. And on this side you have the leveler for the deck. Adjustment for how short you want to cut your lawn. So your basic functions, it's got everything. I do like the fact that it has a reverse and forward pedal right there. It does make it easier. And I'm going to compare it to my old lawnmower, the Yardman. I believe this is like a Sears and Roebuck special. I don't even know if they make these anymore. I haven't seen it. This, I believe, is almost 15 to 20 years old. I'm not even sure how old this thing is. Recently, the deck flange broke off, and the deck needs to be repaired, or the deck needs to be replaced. And also, I bent the blade down there. Otherwise, the motor is still going strong. It has a 12.5 horsepower motor. And for that little bit of horsepower, this lawnmower was pretty good. It moved pretty fast. It was pretty strong for what it is. And it being so old, it lasted a very long time. All right. So like I said, the motor, the Briggs & Stratton motor, there is a Briggs & Stratton motor in this one, as you can see right there, the logo, and that motor is still going strong. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't done an oil change on this lawnmower for almost 5 years. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. Now I have siphoned some old oil out through there and pour some new oil in. but I have not done a complete oil change in this thing for almost, well, I would say a good 5 years. And the thing still runs strong. The thing still runs smooth. Like I said, the only reason I got a new lawnmower was because the deck, there was a flange on there that broke off, the sheet metal that kept the deck stable. It broke off. It flew off. And the reason that was because I was mowing this lawn with a bent blade, and it would vibrate down there so much that it finally just gave out and broke. The sheet metal did. Aside from that, would it have keep going on if I had taken care of that blade sooner? I wouldn't have had the issue that I had. So, far as my review of this lawnmower, I would have to give this lawnmower an excellent review because it just went forever. It never broke down. The only problem I would have is when it sit for a while, the air would come out of the tires, and I would have to pump the airs up before I start mowing the lawn. But aside from that, a really good lawnmower, really good. I can have no complaints about it. Now let's compare that to this. Now, when you're only riding that, and you only know that, and you haven't rode any other lawnmowers, today I mowed the lawn with that. When it came for delivery today, I immediately put gas in it and started mowing the lawn. And let me tell you this is a Cadillac compared to that. You know how like in the old days, if you drove a car with no power steering? Well, that's how this feels. But you don't know it. If you're only used to this, turning this lawnmower and driving it, you really don't feel that it's that hard until you drive that. And then you realize how hard it was to steer that compared to this. Now the turning radius is excellent on this. I mean, it just went around a barrel that I usually have trouble going around with that. I went around that barrel very easily. The turning radius is very small compared to that one. And of course, it's a John Deere. It cuts grass really nice. Okay? So, unfortunately, like maybe about 10 to 14 years ago, this would have probably cost around $1,400. I bought a John Deere before, which was like 140 or 135 or model, and that was like $1,800 or $1,900 14 years ago. And now a model like that would cost almost over $3,000. Okay, but I have maybe about an acre, maybe a little bit over an acre worth of land, and this does a fine job. I'm done cutting the lawn within an hour, so I mean I have no complaints how this performs. I did think about getting a zero turn, but I think a zero turn is like a little bit of an overkill. And also, I did not want to get a zero turn because they have a learning curve. They're back heavy. They're kind of dangerous on steep hills. If you're not doing it right, you can turn over on them and things like that. And if you're riding on slanted hills like this, you have to be mindful that the front end has no steering, so you have to keep it from drifting down like this. So you have to always compensate as you go on side of the hill, riding side of the hill on a slant. So I didn't want to put up with all that, so I just went and got a regular tractor mower. Also, a tractor mower and can pull things. I know you can pull things with a zero turn, but I don't know. I don't think it is as safe. Now that lawnmower right there, since the motor is still running and it's still running, And the only thing I can't do is cut grass with it. I can cut grass with it. I would just have to cut grass a higher. I would have to lift the deck all the way up, and it really just doesn't work. So, but it still runs. So what I'm going to do is I probably keep this as just a tractor. If I need to hitch a small trailer to it and pull things around the yard and things like that. I have a pretty big backyard, so whenever I cut trees and lawns and stuff, I cut down trees and stuff like that, I could chop it up and put it on a trailer and pull it, and I could use it for that kind of work over there. And this one here, okay, of course, I'm just going to use for cutting grass. So, what do I think? Well, it's a John Deere, folks. Let me say the difference between a John Deere, okay, your typical more expensive lawn mowers and the cheap ones over there. I'm going to show you in a second here. This part right here, I guess you call that the axle. That's sheet metal. That's a stamped sheet metal that is holding that wheel to the axle. Okay, so that's the difference between this one here, this one right here, the axle that holds the wheel. This metal part right here is cast iron. It's solid cast iron. Okay, so the difference between the chassis, okay, that one there, if that was still being made, let's say that's a Toro or something like that with a stamped steel axle like that, you may be able to get this one for about maybe $1,500, while that one is like over $2,000. Okay, and that's why, because the chassis, everything is heavy duty cast iron and better materials. Okay, as is this one, sheet metal. And give you an example of the durability of sheet metal. Here is the flange or the piece of deck that sheared off that actually held that deck up. Okay, so, and this is sheet metal. Okay, so that goes to show you that it's not going to be as sturdy as something that has cast iron chassis. Okay, I'm not sure what the deck is, what is holding the John Deere deck up. It could be sheet metal, I don't know, but if it is, I could assure you it's probably something a lot thicker. This is plastic, by the way. That's plastic. But I'm pretty sure it's made a little better, or not better, if not better, at least with better material, or construction is going to withstand a little bit more punishment than that old one right there. Okay, so the one I had a long time ago would be a much more expensive than this one today. I paid more for this today, of course, because of inflation. But the one I had was back then, $19.99, I believe. But that was pretty expensive back then. And it came with like a bumper. And I didn't know how important a bumper was until today, because I kept bumping into things with this. And I was kind of worried that I might have damaged the front end a little bit. But luckily I didn't bump into things too hard. Okay, so a bumper, a tubular bumper would be a real nice add-on for something like this. I had one on my old John Deere. And if you watch my old John Deere video, it wasn't really a John Deere video because I didn't make a video of that lawnmower. But when I bought the Husqvarna after getting rid of that John Deere, because I had sold my house and the house wouldn't sell, so I sold the lawnmower before the house sold, so I had to run out and get a new lawnmower, and I bought a Husqvarna. And I was talking about the Husqvarna lawnmower on that video. That one got tons of views. And let me just say that Husqvarna was, compared to the John Deere that I had before that, the John Deere was tons of better, a lot better. It cut grass a lot better, okay? And it drove so much nicer. This one, like I said, compared to that one, drives like a Cadillac. It really does. Handles really nice, smooth. Love it. Yeah. The Husqvarna, I did wind up selling that to my brother like a few months after I bought it, because the house did finally sell. And my brother's been using it every year, and it's still going strong to this day. So the Husqvarna actually deserves some kudos. But compared to the John Deere, I'd have to say the John Deere cut grass a lot better. That's just my opinion, but it's not an opinion actually. It's a fact, because I saw the way the grass was cut. The grass was cut more evenly than the Husqvarna did. Okay, so when it comes to lawnmower care machinery, I swear by John Deere. They are worth every penny. So if you're going to, let's say, because I was at Home Depot when I purchased this one, and there was an older gentleman with a friend there trying to decide if they should buy this one or not. And they were contemplating buying this one or a Murray lawnmower. And the Murray is comparable to that, actually. The Murray lawnmower looked like this with the stamped steel axle and everything else like that, right? So it was like $400 cheaper, the Murray was. So I was like telling the man, look, you got to buy the John Deere. Pay $400 more and buy the John Deere, because the axle is cast iron and you won't regret it. It cuts grass real nice and everything else. So I actually convinced that man to buy the same lawnmower I was purchasing, and we both purchased this one. And I stole business away from the Murray one. But like I said, you got the cheap ones. If you could get a good 10 years out of them, why not? If you can't afford more, if you can't afford to spend more, why not get the cheap one? Today we're so busy trying to impress our neighbors with these high-powered, big zero-turn lawnmowers. I mean, all of my neighbors have zero-turn lawnmowers, okay? I am not about that. Okay, I am not going to spend $1,000 more or $2,000 more to get a fancy zero turn when a riding tractor mower does the same job of cutting the grass. Okay, now if you have the money to spend like that, and you want to own a zero turn, that's kudos to you. Go out there and get a John Deere. And in fact, I was thinking about getting a John Deere zero-turn lawnmower. It was a $4,000 zero-turn. The model was a 0370R. And I was about to get that because Home Depot had reduced the price down to $2,000. I said, oh my God, I don't want a zero-turn, but for that price, I couldn't pass it up. I actually went in and paid for the thing, and I was waiting for delivery. And Home Depot called me at the last minute and said, we can't deliver it to you. And I said, why not? And they said, well, because the thing won't start and it doesn't work, and we can't sell it to you if it doesn't work. And I said, hell, you can't. I was willing to go and pick it up and get and take it and bring it home. But they said, nope, if it doesn't start, we can't sell it to you, and we need to return it to factory and get it replaced or whatever, this and that. So they refunded my money, but I bet you all it needed was probably a new battery or put some more gas in it. Man, I missed out. It was a $4,000 lawnmower, and I could have gotten it for $2,000, but they made me take my money back and wind up going back and getting this. But I'm glad I got this. This is a fine lawnmower, and you don't need a zero turn if you don't have a baseball field size lawn to cut. Why do you need a zero turn? And I understand sometimes a small lawn does need a zero turn because it's easier to turn around and maneuver. And that's fine if that's the reason why you're purchasing a zero turn, to be able to maneuver around a smaller yard. But 9 times out of 10, a riding mower like this, especially when it's easy to back up and steer and has a pretty decent turning radius, you really don't need a zero turn. It's just a fad that's caught on, and everybody wants one, and now they're expensive as all hell. To me, this makes me happy right here. And I do love John Deere's. They're awesome. And me living in Tennessee, I love the fact that John Deere's are made in Tennessee. Yep. Anyway, thanks for watching. I didn't mean to make this video so long, but hopefully this video, like my other Husqvarna video, will get over 80,000 views. If this opinion or review of this John Deere helped you, if I convinced you to purchase one, please like and subscribe, and see you around.